Welcome to the Arlington Street Church podcast. Founded in 1729, Arlington Street continues today as a gathering place for progressive people of faith in the greater Boston area and beyond. We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.
You never say yes to anything. This was a startling indictment of Shonda Rhimes. Yes, that Shonda Rhimes, creator of Scandal and Grey's Anatomy. At the time her sister lobbed this grenade, Shonda was raising 3 girls, producing 4 hit TV shows, running a production company, and raking in awards. She was the woman responsible for single-handedly overhauling the television landscape with fabulous female leads and casts full of people of color and people who are LGBTQ. Those 6 words changed her life. You never say yes to anything. Shonda says, "I've lived inside my head since I was a kid. My earliest memories are sitting on the floor of the kitchen pantry. I stayed in there for hours in the darkness and warmth, playing with a kingdom I created out of the canned goods. The big cans of yams ruled over the peas and green beans, while the tiny citizens of tomato paste land planned a revolution to overthrow the government. I had a wonderful childhood," she continues, "but lived so deep in my imagination that I was happier and more at home in that pantry with the cans than I ever was with people. I felt safer in the pantry, freer in the pantry. True when I was 3 years old, and somehow even more true at 43. Shonda was sleepwalking through her fabulous life. Introversion had given way to withdrawal. Her social anxiety had become debilitating. Admitting the depth of her misery was breathtaking. The song of my heart had ceased to play, she says. I couldn't explain why, and I didn't know if I could survive the silence. Never one to play small, Shonda Rhimes embarked on a year of yes. Yes to everything, she declared. Yes to everything that takes me out of my comfort zone. Yes to everything that feels like it might be crazy. Yes to everything that feels out of character. Yes to everything that feels goofy. Yes to everything. Everything. Yes. Yes. She would soon come to regret this audacious pronouncement. Just 1 week into the year of yes, Shonda received 2 invitations. She was asked to give the commencement address at Dartmouth College and to appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Shonda imagined every possible way these appearances could end in public humiliation, and then she said yes. As the dreaded event drew near, panic was ever present, and fear took up residence in her left eye. Shonda tried to convince herself that the twitch wasn't really noticeable. At work, the head writer on Grey's Anatomy took one look at her and said, "Wow, your eye, it's really twitching." At home, her toddler grabbed her face and said, "Your eye is broken. It's busted, honey." This was not what yes was supposed to feel like, but Shonda showed up, doing these things that terrified her and not dying in the process, cracked open that pantry door and gave Shonda an amazing sense of, I did it. I can do it. Each unfolding yes expanded her life in a new way. She says, the very act of doing the thing that scared me undid the fear. It's amazing the power of one word. Yes changed my life. Yes changed me. Shonda said yes to claiming her accomplishments, yes to having difficult conversations, yes to owning her own dream for the future, which meant breaking off an engagement with a man she loved but didn't want to marry. She said yes to her health and lost 127 pounds. But the most profound yes came in response to a very inconveniently timed request. Mama, want to play? After only the briefest hesitation, Shonda kicked off her heels and plopped down on the floor of the foyer, ball gown and all. When she eventually made it to the evening's gala, late and hopelessly wrinkled, Shonda describes feeling a hot pearl of joy in my chest, warming me in a way I'd forgotten was possible. The little fire inside of me had been reignited, and it felt like magic. Time for a confession. I'm not sure I should be telling you this, but sometimes I lip sync the hymns. It's sad but true. I have been blessed with many talents, but being musically gifted is just not among them. I realized the liability of the singing issue as soon as I arrived here. Let me tell you, it's nearly impossible to stand up here and lead worship in a way that's engaged and authentic when you are, in fact, only pretending to sing. It felt like divine providence when I stumbled on a workshop in the Kripalu catalog called The Natural Singer, Find Your True Voice. Listen to this description. Instructor Claude Stein has a remarkable ability to channel the beautiful music within each of us, learn to sing out fearlessly, share stunning breakthroughs and authentic self-expression. The results are simply amazing as you triumph over limiting judgments, fears, and beliefs. You will sing like you've always wanted to and share your heart more easily. I signed up immediately. The first night, we meet the famed Claude Stein, who is not exactly the warm and fuzzy midwife of music one might expect from that blurb. Claude is a veteran of the New York City music scene and quite an anomaly at Kripalu with his leather jacket, brusque style, and salty vocabulary. The ominous feeling that I've made an awful mistake descends quickly. The participants are a mix of devoted choir members, karaoke lovers, and professional musicians. As we go around the circle, I am the only one who begins my introduction with, I do not love to sing. The true panic sets in when Claude describes the structure of the weekend. He will randomly call each of us to the front of the room to take a bow and then launch into an a cappella performance. Think Russian roulette. Can you imagine? The anxiety in the room is off the charts. I am beside myself. One of the professional singers bails immediately. I desperately want to join her, but somehow I force myself to stay. When the dreaded moment arrives, I reluctantly make my way up. Speaking is absolutely prohibited, so there's no opportunity to offer context or a little disclaimer. I know better than to push Claude on this, having just witnessed him hurl expletives and writing implements at a woman who insists on breaking his cardinal rule. As a person who just doesn't sing, I know that my turn is going to be embarrassing, but I don't anticipate the raw fear rippling through my body. I am a preacher in training. I do this on a regular basis. So it caught me off guard to find myself abandoned completely by all of my pulpit practice. Standing in front of 20 people, I am shaking like a chihuahua, gasping for air, and barely able to make any sound come out of my throat. Have I conveyed how horrible this was? Another downfall of not being musically inclined is the issue of song selection. I decide to go for the 70s classic American Pie. And yes, it was a terrible, terrible choice. Claude stops me after just a few bars. It is a mercy. And then he sings a few notes for me to echo. He moves on to whole lines. And somehow, I begin to sing back to him. It feels completely miraculous that I can parrot the sounds he's making. Even better is the reaction of the class. You would have thought Springsteen had just taken the stage by the way they went wild when I hit the right notes. By challenging us to name our limiting judgments and stare fear right in the face, Claude was able to work miracles with us. It was so beautiful to watch this curmudgeonly guru open hearts and change lives as he cycled through us in 5-minute turns. This is Claude's genius. His vision of what was possible for each of us allowed him to shrug off our tears, our terror, and our stories about how we couldn't possibly sing for the group. He knew that to take it easy on someone would be to deny them their breakthrough. I'm certainly not bringing down the house just yet, but those few terrible and terrifying minutes transformed me from a staunch lip syncer into a singer and opened me up to the possibility of finding joy in singing. Did you see me up here a few weeks ago belting out "I Am Willing"? I was shocked to find myself swept up in the power of singing together Holly Near's beautiful anthem. It was transformative, and I'm so grateful to Claude Stein and to all of you for that gift. Take it from me, stunning breakthroughs and amazing results wait on the other side of fear. We're living through very scary times that demand courageous resistance. Last week, Kim reminded us that we are all being called to build our muscles for risk-taking. And that's going to require pushing ourselves and each other beyond our comfort zones. The thing about transformation is that we are never going to encounter it from a cozy spot on the couch. Transformation is only available at the growing edges. What might you be inspired to take on? Start with something small or go big. Perhaps you are going to finally learn to swim. Join the choir. Sit in a different pew. I know that's a hard one. Repair a broken relationship. Get on the phone with your elected representatives. Volunteer with the Friday Night Supper program. You'll know you've hit on the right practice when it feels a little bit scary and a little bit exhilarating. My friends, now is the time to find your true voice and use it. Sing. Sing your heart out. Don't miss your breakthrough. Let's channel Shonda and Claude as we push past our comfort zones. Transformation is only available at the growing edges. Amazing results are waiting on the other side of fear. One word can change your life. Say yes. Amen.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. We would love to hear from you via email at office@ascboston.org or through our Facebook page. If you would like to support the good work of Arlington Street Church, please consider a contribution by check in the mail or through our website, ascboston.org.